So one other things that this handout that you have, this Bagua apply, is in the section of the house. You probably have read on some books that the ideal shape of the house is square. The ideal shape of the house is square or mildly rectangular. Why is that? Here is why. Okay, when we divide the house in 9 sections, all these 9 sections have to be the same dimension, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. So each direction actually relates to a part of the body and a member of the family. We're going to learn these today. So let's take our north-facing house, south, north-facing, south-sitting. So this is the northwest, this is the west, southwest, southeast, east, and northeast. Okay, so let's start from the northwest. The northwest is related with the eldest man in the family. And when we say the eldest man, it's actually the eldest man. The eldest man or the husband or the father. So even if you have a couple and they're 25 years old, it will still be the eldest man because there is nobody else there. So this is the in the house is the father, husband, back in the old days we used to say this was the head of the household. Time have changed, so maybe some places still is. Okay, the part of the body that relates to the northwest section are the head and the lung. Because if you notice in your notes, the northwest is associated with the metal element. And in Chinese medicine, the lungs are the metal element. So these are the head and the lungs. If something is wrong with the northwest section, say it's missing. You live in a house that is not completely shaped as a square or rectangle and this section is missing, you will not have energy enough to support the male owner. So the male owner will be weakened. It's not like he walks in there and he's drop dead. It's not kind of like that. Is not supported. And so the effect will manifest in multiple areas of life. It could be in work, could be in relationship, could be in personal health for this person in particular, or for any member of the family, could manifest as head or lung problems. Or you can have, this person having these problems. That could be too. So this is the effects of missing sections. So now I'm going to go through every single section and we discuss that. Now, for example, also the northwest is a metal direction. We mentioned that is the metal element. And so having a large body of water outside of the northwest section is not advisable, because in the 5 elements that you have in your chart, you have fire, earth, metal, water, and wood, and they are in productive cycle. But if you put a big body of water next to metal, then it will absorb away its energy. So that's how the cycle works. And so if you put a whole lot of water outside of your northwest section, then most likely you're going to drain away the energy for the eldest man in the family. Even though maybe the house is perfectly built, you have a good northwest section, that would also still, the water will still drain away the energy from this person. Okay, I'm going to go through every single section. So pretty much these are the basics. We are trying not to, first of all, we want the floor plan to be as regular as possible. If it's not regular, if we have missing section, what do we do to correct it? Let's say, you know, my house is like this. Then I can build a patio out here, or maybe fill up the entire section if all of it is missing. I can create a patio with a sitting area, with a door, something that I use, and I try to make that section part of the house. It's even more effective if you could have maybe, you know, some plant along it to define it, to kind of complete it, or actually a patio that hangs here, something that fills up that corner. So even if it's not built, you don't have to go. If you want, you can build it and include it, but even if you cannot build it and include it, you can still use that section. And as it becomes part of your house, your chi, as you move around, will also fill up the missing section, and that will take care of the missing quadrant. Okay, so I'm going to go through each section and give you the rundown of what they are related to. The north section relates to the middle sun. Now, in the old days, we used to have huge family, and not just in China. My mother's side of the family had 7 children. My grandparents have 12 on each side. So, you know, in the old days, we used to have bigger family. This day and age, it's become very expensive to have big families. It's a luxury. Having big families is a luxury. So when they talk about the middle son, it could be the middle son in a large family. They live together. If the middle son are grown up and they live somewhere else, it does not apply in the same way. They all have to live under the same roof to be affected. So it's either the middle son, or could be also referring to a person in the middle age. So for example, the eldest son could be an elderly man, could be either the father in the family, if that's the eldest one, but if you have a full family, that would be the patriarchal father, like maybe the guy in his 70s or 80s, the oldest man in the house, in the bigger family. This could be, north could be related to the middle son, or could be related to a man in the middle age, maybe 40 or 50. That would be the middle son. North also relates to the kidneys, ears, and blood. And some of them might be more or less related in Chinese medicine, but these are the old association that we were given. So I'm passing them along, and they seem actually pretty right on. I did see people that have problems, you know, with the north section. They had kidney problem, they had severe ear infection, recurrent ear infection. They had blood viruses. So there is some way, they might not be exactly as it is in Chinese medicine, but they're still working for the Feng Shui purpose. The northeast section relates to the youngest son, or the youth in general. So this would be your children when they're still small, when they're still little, not small, they're little. And also northeast relates to the bones in general and to the spinal cord. So broken bones or arthritis, things like that, they always come back to this section here. The east section is related to the eldest son. It's related to the eldest son, and the part of the body, they are the liver, a lot, liver and gallbladder. They're could be very temperamental, liver, gallbladder, and also feet and throat. Yes, by the right throat, something like that. When you're close to the board, for some reason something happened to your brain, you don't really see clearly what you're writing. So there's going to be a lot of misspelling all over here. Well, the feet, because it's kind of at the end of the meridian of the liver, anyway, or the channel of the liver, and the throat would be related mostly to the thyroid. So the southeast section is related to the eldest daughter. And the parts of the body are mostly the lower back, the real, very lower back. And also what they call in Chinese medicine exterior wind. So it would be like cold and a flu and things like that. The south section relates to the fire element and is the middle daughter. So notice here we have middle daughter, middle son, youngest son, eldest daughter. These are all positioned within the family if you have multiple children, or they can be people at different stages in their lives. So normally the youngest son, or we're going to have also youngest daughter, they're like teenager, people in their teenage year, early 20s. The middle one are maybe 30s and 40s, maybe I exaggerated saying 50, 30s and 40s, and then the eldest would be probably more like 50s and 60s, and then the eldest would be, you know, like the patriarch, the really old guy. So the south relates to the middle daughter, and the part of the body are actually the heart and the eye. So if the south section should be missing, you know, the energy that supports your heart and supports your eyes is not as strong. So the southwest is the eldest woman. So this would be the mother, the wife, the matriarch in the family, and the part of the body that are associated with are the digestive system, because southwest is the kun element, is earth. It's related to the element of earth, so it's the digestive system, and in women is the reproductive system. So it's the mother pretty much. So if this section we have to be really careful to, you know, keep it clean. Pretty much the entire house we have to keep it clean. We have to make sure the energy flows smoothly in the interior, not just parts of the house that are missing or full. Even within the house we have to make sure that the chi can flow properly. We definitely don't want to, as women, we don't want to have a junk room in the southwest. That could be, you know, kind of a little bit of a trouble for us, because at different stage of our life we might be mothers and wife, and we're definitely women anyway. We definitely have a reproductive system, so we gotta take care of this. West is the youngest daughter. This is west daughter. And the part of the body is the mouth and the chest, particularly in women, because I've seen that related a lot to breast cancer. And we don't have the same kind of data for men, so I don't know if you're referring, because it's a female triagram, is the daughter, is a yin triagram. I think they probably refer maybe more to women than men youngest daughter, so his mouth, anything has to do with the mouth and the teeth. Teeth. Am I spelling it right? I never know where to put the age. Mouth, teeth, and chest. So pretty much any other association that we might have, there are books and books written on the associations of this section, but that's pretty much where they stop, because for everything else we actually rely to the calculation that I showed you earlier. So these are mostly to do with the support, the energy support of the people, that member of the family, or with that part of the body. So that school of thought that says, you know, you overlap the Bagua and this is your travel corner and this is your money corner, they don't really work that way. This application, the straight application of the direction, is mostly to do for the general energy and for the part of the body. Again, remember, if there is a part that is missing, we try to fill it up. There might be cases where we actually have extensions. So maybe we have a little bit of an extension here, an extra room. Maybe, you know, to make the design interesting, the architect has actually extended the south corner. So what happens if we have an extension? Well, it means that that member of the family of that part of the body has more energy than other parts. So people, you know, people that live in a building where the south is very extended and relates to the heart, they maybe are very compassionate, very generous, very nice people. People that maybe are, oh, let's see what we have. Everybody has a slightly different quality. Like, for example, the north, the kidneys in Chinese medicine relates to willpower. So if you have an extended north section, maybe this will make people, you know, very ambitious, very determined, very persistent in the things that to do, that will increase their willpower. So there are things that will affect people even if you have extension, not just if they're missing. Generally speaking, I would rather have something in excess than something missing, because you know, rather have it and then decide what to do with it rather than not having it. But pretty much this affects the structure of the building per se and the existing building, the way we keep the interior and the exterior of the building.